It's Evan and Amber from Taste of Country Nights with Lauren Alaina. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. We're pumped for this new album, Sitting Pretty on Top of the World. When the album was done, who was the first person that got to hear the whole album?
Like outside of my management and stuff?
Yeah.
I think my dad.
Oh.
I think I sent it to my dad first.
And are you confident that he listened to all of it? Or?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. He called me with his opinion on everything.
What was his favorite?
It was me. Everyone's favorite. He told me that he couldn't. He said, well, baby girl. So he calls me, or turd. He calls me baby girl or turd. So it's a really attractive nickname when a boy's around. My dad's like, turd, what's up? I'm like, Dad.
Not now.
Yeah, please. But he told me he listened to It Was Me 6 times in a row, that he wasn't going to be able to get past it to listen to the rest of the album. He said, maybe you shouldn't have started the album with that song, because people aren't going to be able to get to the other songs because they're just going to want to listen to that one on repeat.
Oh, now, okay, was there any song that like you were almost afraid to share with everyone?
Well, no, I originally thought I would never release What Do You Think Of, which it's been out. Mm-hmm. But I wrote it about the one We Don't Speak Of. And I wrote it when I was still sad about that situation. And then the sadness got replaced with anger and confusion. And I never wanted him to think for a second that his cheating and his lies made me sad. So I never thought that I would put that song out until the collaboration opportunity with Lukas Graham came about, and we sent a few songs and those didn't work out. And I finally said, send What Do You Think Of and see what he thinks of it. And he loved it, of course. But having him on it gave me a little bit of bravery to put it out. And at some point, for whatever unknown reason, I was sad, and that's a valid feeling that I had. So, and it's been like one of the most impactful songs of my career. People freaked out over it. So guess it was meant to come out.
You, this whole album's kind of about loving yourself and being brave and strong. Is that something that you think like the world just really needed after everything that we've been through the past, like almost 2 years now?
Well, for me, Road Less Traveled was about me transitioning from a teenager to a woman and learning to love myself. And this album really, for me, feels like loving myself when others don't, and when life is unexpected and different things are thrown your way, to stand firm in who you are. And I mean, there are a couple of songs on here that mean the world to me, but I think because I wrote them in the pandemic, this album is emotionally supercharged like the rest of us. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like specifically the title track, it's a song called On Top of the World that I wrote with Sasha Sloan and Jordan Reynolds. And it's about a breakup, the song is, but I actually wrote it about my struggles with depression. I was out on a walk in the pandemic, and it was when we were completely locked down and we were pretty much only allowed to walk around outside if we were wearing a mask. And so I was like walking through my neighborhood, and the weight of what was happening hit me finally. And I got really upset. And then I got upset that I was upset because I was one of the luckier ones. And I had all of these feelings and emotions. And I wrote down hitting rock bottom, sitting on top of the world. And so then when I went into the write with Sasha and Jordan, and I said, I want to write this, but I am a very fortunate person. So I don't think if I'm complaining about my life being hard, that's going to be very believable. So we made it about a breakup, which lined up pretty well with the theme of the record. And I just wrote about being the life of the party, but being the sad girl. But I felt like the last 3 years of my life, my stepfather passed away from cancer. My high school relationship of 6.5 years ended. Then the next guy came along and was the worst person ever. And all of these things just kind of happened. And I was on the road and I was on Dancing with the Stars and I was like in the sparkly dress and being the girl that's like happy and always positive and stuff. And I was really struggling internally. And so that's why I named the whole album after that song, because first of all, it's a baller album title. Sitting Pretty on Top of the World is a pretty baller album title, but it has a deeper meaning for me. And I think mental health has been really a topic that we've all started really embracing, and I think it's important. And this album is super important to me because of it's a flood of emotions. Like when I have the list written down right here, I've been doodling today, and like just reading the titles is like a flood of emotions for me. So I'm really proud of it.
You should be. It's a beautiful album and it's so vulnerable.
Thank you.
Your song with Party, Getting Over Him, have people been hitting you up that's helped them get through like a breakup?
You know, I wrote that song about, I was kind of like seeing this guy and it was not going to go anywhere. And I was like, this is not my husband or even my next boyfriend. So I think I need to scoot on out. But I was like pretty prideful about it because I'd been through those 2 breakups and I was like, oh, it's like another strike for me. And one of my girlfriends said, listen, if all he did was help you get over that last guy and show you that you can like someone else, then he served his purpose. So I said, can you hold on 1 second? And I wrote down, Get Over Him Guy. So then when I wrote it with Emily Weisband and Paul DiGiovanni, I called Paul and said, can you make me like a dirty guitar loop, like a dirty country guitar loop? So he made that guitar loop and sent it to me. And so I started working on it a couple of days before we went in to write it. And then it ended up becoming Getting Over Him Guy. And it was it was after we wrote the first verse and chorus that we decided to show the male perspective as well. That it was just like a person that you go out and have a good time with on a Saturday night, but they're not your forever person. And then I called John Party because he's the definition of a good time on a Saturday. So I'm excited we got to put that out, and it's a single and we're top 40. And listen, if you're going to go through a breakup, just find a new boy to kiss.
That's the best advice.
It helps. But maybe just like one.
Nothing about that, but I'll take your word for it.
All right, or a girl. Whatever you like to kiss, go kiss it.
Get it? Well, congrats on everything you got going on, the new album and the book.
LA3!
That's sweet.
Cool. Yes. Well, does the other hand say anything? Does this hand say it too?
It says album of the year. Just kidding.
Yes, girl.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, Lauren.
Thank you, guys.